welcome to Sweet Tea and Thread. This is our 10th episode.
We made it to 10.
Which, it was an iffy thing if we were going to have any podcast at all.
Yeah.
if you saw our first one, which didn't air.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm Shai.
I'm Bethany, and we work here at Thread, a small fabric and yarn store in Florence, Alabama. And we have a lot of stuff to show you today.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I want to mention about the store, I don't think we've mentioned it in the past, is that you can follow Thread on Facebook. Just search for Thread. Mm-hmm. And then also Instagram, we are threadfabric_. And then we do have a website. It's threadfabricstore.com. We don't sell online, but you can certainly call us with anything you see of interest, and we will, take your order over the phone and ship out and that kind of thing. So I think we've been remiss in telling you that before.
And, also on the website, you'll be able to find about us, where we're located. You can find our class calendar. We do offer a lot of different classes, and so we usually keep that updated. And you can also sign up for our newsletter. So that gets sent out at least once a month. Typically we send out, classes about a month ahead, tell you what's being offered. And occasionally we'll send out another email or two, depending on what's going on at the store. If there's like a special event or a sale going on, we'll let you know through the newsletter.
Yeah. And our classes include quilting classes, hand embroidery classes, heirloom sewing, smocking, knitting and crochet, of course. So we offer for a variety of classes here, and they're always fun.
Yeah.
So we strive to have a good time. So, all right. We want to move into our finished objects.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Do you want to start, or do you want me? I think we have about the same amount.
Yeah. Well, we can start with what I'm wearing. This is the Rainfall shawl. I had it on the needles last time. I'm real pleased with the way this worked out. This is a Heidi and Lana pattern, and we have the kits for it. Mm-hmm. It was a very engaging knit. I think the texture on the body of it is pretty cool. And then I'm not really much of a lace knitter, but I found this little bit to be, very fun.
It made me think of like a cable, though. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that was lace.
Yeah, it's kind of cable-y, but yeah. So yarn overs and stuff. I wet blocked this, and the yarn feels a little on the rough side while you're knitting with it, but it really does soften up. And it's 100% merino. Yeah. So, what's not to like about that?
Yeah. The great thing about merino yarn is it's usually the softest out of all the wools. Mm-hmm. So, I like working with it. But these are just a few of the colors. Yeah. We do have one that's that color, but we only have one. That's the only one left.
And it's pretty cool. It has this long tail kind of thing that you, I'll take it off and show it. So, it's sort of a triangular asymmetrical with an extra little bit right there, and so I think it's just really cool.
There's lots of different ways you can wear this. So this, I kind of looked at it, I was like, what is this?
Right.
And I freaked out. But she has information about how you can wear this.
She has a YouTube channel, and you can just go search YouTube for how to wear the Rainfall.
Yeah. And
it will give you several options to do this. But it just really was a lovely knit. I enjoyed it.
I really like this texture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about this texture. It's really interesting. It's a little bit different.
Kind of waffly, but
yeah, it's so pretty though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yes, I really enjoyed that. And I'm not going to try to put it back on here on camera. And then, cuteness overload again. I got the little French macaroon finished, all except for the button. I've got to put the little button.
Where did that? Oh, here's the
little button. I've been struggling to put just a regular button or to do a bobble.
I'm going to come up
for
a little
that.
close.
So yeah,
you can kind of see. Little purl button.
Yeah, a little purl button on the back. And this is knitted It's the same measurements and everything, so it can be worn with a little button in the front or the button in the back. And with this unique cotton from Urth, I mean, you know, it can look like
It's self-striped.
2 different sweaters. And then I used the modern cotton for the top part. And these yarns work really well together.
Look at even.
So
This was the 2 colors that you used originally. And then that was something that I just pulled. Because I haven't really seen this knit up yet. I don't know
that would be so cute.
That would be fun.
So cute.
And it has that pop of lime. I thought about pulling a lime, but then I thought, no, keep it a little bit more neutral and let the lime speak for itself in this self-striping. So, but I thought that would be pretty, and I love this. I like your combination.
Yeah, that's how it
turned out. Really
that's how
pretty.
that worked out. So, and then my next finished object, socks. I got the second sock completely finished, and you can see how that gradient stripe worked. This is the unique worsted. It's 100% merino, and my children just love the socks made out of this.
She started with this down here.
I started with that sock,
And it goes all the
and
way
then
up.
I just, you know, when I finished that one, just casted right on for. And this is just again my plain vanilla sock. It's Judy's
up.
Magic cast on, toe up, short row heel.
There's a lot of good patterns out there for basic
Yes.
socks, so you know there's no shortage. You'll be able to find something that works for you.
Yeah. And then I also have another hat. This is Barley by Tincan Knits, and it has just a little quarter section of the hat is done in a purl, and I did this out of Plymouth's is it Nako, the Calico Jaquard, and they're all gradient stripes. So I think they're very fun. It's a cotton and acrylic blend, I believe.
And it's super soft.
Super soft. It's a DK weight, so it makes a nice hat, kind of a lightweight hat. Feels really good.
And the great thing about Tincan Knits patterns are they come in all sizes from baby up to you know, adult sizes, and it's that way for pretty much all of their patterns. I don't think I've seen any of their patterns that does not include that. Even their sweaters patterns are the same way, so you could knit one of these for your whole family.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's a free pattern.
Yes, it is.
From Tincan Knits. So, but I really enjoyed doing this. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the yarn.
Oh, and I forgot. There's hold on, one more color. Sorry.
Yeah, so you can see from these colors, you can do, if you want a specific, you know, there's pinks and greens, and so all kinds of colors.
We even have a blue that has a little bit of brown in it, and then there's this. I love this one that has the gray and the kind of tan taupey color. I think this one's really good.
Yeah. So,
is that your finished object?
I think that's finished. I feel like I ran through that really fast.
Well,
was there anything I left out?
No, we have a lot though.
We got lots of stuff today to show. So
let's continue.
Bethany's been real busy.
Yeah, let's continue with Tincan Knits though. So look at the baby socks.
So cute.
They're so precious. These are the Rise Socks by Tincan Knits. It's a free pattern, and again, this comes in sizes baby all the way up to like an adult large or something like that. A free pattern. It's very similar look. It's a very similar look to your Barley hat because it has that garter stitch in the front. So this was made with some leftover yarn that I had from a project, and it is Moon Shadow. I'll let you hold up. I have 3 more colors.
Oh goodness.
I picked a lot. I can't pick one color, guys.
This is a lovely yarn.
Yeah, this is a cotton wool, is it not? Or cotton alpaca? Which one is it?
I'm looking for it. Yeah, baby alpaca and Pima cotton.
Yeah.
So makes a lovely fabric.
This was really fun, super easy. This one, it's a worsted weight sock, but unlike Shai's typical worsted weight sock, this one is done cuff down. So it's a little bit different construction, whereas she knits hers toe up, but it's still very enjoyable to make. And I used a US 3 for the ribbing on this, and then a 5 for the body of the sock. So
They're adorable.
I love them. I finished them. I literally finished them, walked into the living room, was like, Mom, I made a pair of socks in a day. Would you like to see them? I pulled them out of my pocket. I'm like, they're so cute. Because they're like a day project if you make the baby size.
Yeah.
So, love those. And then, what I made with this yarn originally was a really cute little bonnet. I should have brought one of the little mannequin heads to put this on. But it's just a simple garter bonnet. It has little I-cord ties. There's a little bit of short row shaping back here in the back, but if I'm remembering correctly, you don't have to pick up wraps, so it makes it really simple. And she has a lot of tutorials in her pattern. This is the Garter bonnet by Destiny MEYER. It's a free pattern on her website. You can also purchase a PDF pattern if you don't want to deal with all of the advertisements. I believe she has that available. But I used a US size 6 needle for this hat. And this was the 1 to 3 year old size.
And again, so cute. It has that old-fashioned look, but
little point.
yeah.
I've made a hat before that comes to a little point. It's absolutely adorable. And she does have really good instruction and video tutorials. So, and this is actually Kitchener stitched in Garter on the back, but she has a video tutorial that I watched for that. I'm used to doing Kitchener stitch and stockinette for my socks, but didn't know how to do it in Garter, and I was able to follow her instructions, so she's really good.
Oh, cool.
About that.
I hadn't even thought about doing Kitchener, and I have enough trouble in stockinette. So,
but yeah.
Hence toe-up socks.
But yeah, that used Moon Shadow, and I had enough left over that I was able to do the little baby socks. Now, you could do a matching set for somebody with these two, but like I said, this was like a 1 to 3 year old size, and this was a baby size, so you probably would have to get, depending on what size you made of each of these, you may have to add an additional skein to
but
your...
It would be a sweet baby gift.
Yes, it's really, really sweet. Very soft, and I enjoyed this. These were projects that I did in a day each, so they're really quick. So last minute gift ideas. This is a good set. Yeah. And then let me see, what else do I want to show? Let me go ahead and show this. And I may take this scarf off that I'm wearing. But this is the Bandana Cowl. This was also done in a day, basically. If you calculate hours, it was done in a day. I cast this on one night, finished it the next morning. This is the Bandana Cowl. It is a Purl Soho pattern. You can see the back there. There's a few little decreases there on the side to shape it. This is a good pattern for a beginner that wants to learn a new technique. When this is cast on, you do join it in the round, and then this triangle portion in the front is done with short row shaping. So this one you will wrap and turn and pick up the wraps for it, but Purl Soho has a link to their tutorials on how to wrap and turn as well as pick up the wraps, and they're both really good.
Yeah, they have very good tutorials.
I always have to look up a tutorial for picking up the wraps. I still haven't gotten used to it, but theirs was really good for me to follow. This used the Plymouth Viento. Here's some skeins for you to hold up.
All right.
And let me take this off real
Aren't
quick.
those beautiful colors? And this is the same yarn that I made my daily out of. That is just so comfortable. So, but these are gorgeous colors. This is a new color that we just got in.
Yeah, this color is really pretty because it looks a little bit orange, like almost like it's kind of similar to this in like a brown tone, a little bit darker, and it has a little bit of like an orange and green tone to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a super fun project. It used 2 skeins. I still have a little bit left over, but I knit this on a US 10, and so it starts down here and goes all the way up to here. And they suggest when you cast off this edge, just to make sure it's not too tight, that you go up to a larger size needle. So I ended up doing like a 15 for casting off. It was a little bit tricky, but it worked. You could also use a stretchy cast off. I thought about using the Russian cast off that we did for the butterfly shawls.
Yeah.
And I kind of think if I make another one, I might do that.
Yeah. That's what I used on the Rainfall, was the Russian
It's a great
bind
cast
off.
off.
Mm-hmm. It is, because I was, well, you did a, well, I just did the Russian bind off because I thought it would help in blocking.
Yeah.
So.
This color, I've forgotten to kind of mention the colors. This, the Moon Shadow, Natural Moon is what this color is called. This one is Medium Fawn in Plymouth Viento. Yeah. So that's 3 projects.
And this feels
Oh my gosh.
so good. So
It's
something like
so
that you're going to
soft.
wear close.
Alpaca and rayon. It's a beautiful combination.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And I have one more finished object that's mine. I'm going to take this off because this is another thing I can put around my neck. Set that over there. Dun, 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 dun. Guys, I finished it. I said I would finish it, and I finished it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move the tag. This is the Bella Shawl. This is by Annie Lee Baker. Knit with 2 skeins of the Big Sky Squish DK in the Bad Blood colorway. And this was knit on a US 6 and a US 8. So what is that, like a 4.5 and a 5mm, I think?
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of tell a little bit. I did not alternate skeins, and you can tell right here where I switched. Even though these were done, dyed in the same batch, that's kind of the beauty of hand-dyed yarn.
Yeah.
It is still different, but I don't mind because it's right on the border. I kind of feel like it's
Right.
forgivable. But I love, 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 love this detail on the edge. This is a really fun shawl to knit. And the pattern originally knit, like this shawl was knit with a 6 and then a 4. So I did go up a couple of needle sizes even though I'm a really loose knitter. And I love the drape that it gave it. I still had plenty of yarn left too. But it just gave it a really nice drapey. I mean,
Yes, it does.
so I'm really happy with this and how it turned out. And I pulled a couple of skeins to show some other beautiful DK hand dyeds that we have. So this is the color that I used. We do have 2 skeins of this left. So if you want to make a shawl like mine, you might want to get here quickly before it goes. And then I pulled these 2 from Big Sky. That would be another fun color to kind of play off of. And then there's always a good neutral, like you can do a gray. That would be a really pretty shawl. And we also carry Hedgehog Fibers Merino DK. So that would also be a really pretty neutral, and it has gorgeous little speckles in it. So
Yeah. Any of those would be gorgeous in that shawl.
But you know what? I pulled vintage as well. Because if you want a solid color for this shawl, I obsessively love vintage. It is a good workhorse yarn, but it is super soft. It's a merino acrylic nylon blend, and we have lots of really pretty colors in DK. I just pulled some neutral tones to show. But we also have, you know, reds and purples and blues and that kind of thing. So that would be a great option if you don't want to get like a hand-dyed there's another good option for you.
Yeah, we have several yarns that it would look really good in.
I'm going to put this back on.
Alrighty.
By the way, this is the sunshine wrap. We showed this in an earlier podcast. I'm not sure which one. We may put it somewhere on the screen or in the description if you're interested, but
yeah,
this was done out of Remix, and it's really nice. So I just threw this on today.
All right, is that it for your finished projects?
Well, we have the crochet projects that were done.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do crochet.
So we've mentioned this several times. My mom does some of our crochet projects for the store, and one of them that she did was the MACEY beanie by Mrs. B's Custom Crochet. It is a paid for pattern. This was, there's the tag.
Yeah.
This was done out of Plymouth Gina, which we showed a knitted version of this yarn last time. And I got more colors to show you.
Yeah.
Because I love picking out colors. This used two
This is
skeins.
the one she did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
So,
so yeah, the raspberry colored hat that I showed last time that I had knitted up, same yarn. So cute.
really simple. This is kind of a good gender neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would wear this. I feel like my dad would probably wear this too. But yeah, really, really cute.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know if you would say this is a beginner crochet. I think this is more like an advanced beginner. But
Yeah, I think maybe so.
she, my mom didn't have too much trouble with this, and I consider her an experienced crocheter, but she did enjoy this, making this. And then, anybody need a hand? These are the Easy Crochet Wristers by Kim, what did we say, Kateri?
I think so. That sounds right.
We'll be sure to put the name and the designer on the screen. These are really pretty easy crochet wrist warmers. So you can kind of see how it looks on the mannequin. I'll throw this one on too. This was done out of Adrifil Bonton. So really pretty, really simple. This is a self-striping cotton yarn. 97% cotton and 3% polyester. But it is a fingering weight. So this one you can't really tell that it's much of a self-striping, but look, you just kind of open it up. Well, I say open it up. See, there you go.
Yeah.
There's some blue in there.
This one's really pretty with this chartreusey green and gold and kind of aqua blue.
And then I
Some
brought
pretty
this
colors, and it feels really nice too.
It does. And this is great if you want to make like a warm, kind of like a mitten wrist warmer type of an accessory. It takes one skein for this project, and you know, it's a cotton based yarn
With a little bit of polyester.
You don't have to worry about wool allergies.
Yeah.
Which we always like to have an alternative for people that do have a concern for wool. Because a lot of sock yarns that you can find out there, or fingering weight yarns in general, will have a wool content because most people will knit socks with it. Or they'll do shawls with it, and so this is a great alternative. It's really pretty too. And you can see the difference. Like, it does stripe up a little bit different over here, but they're still a matching set, so. Anyway, that's finished objects.
All right. Yeah, I feel like it is. So for unfinished objects,
Works in progress.
Well, yeah, works in progress. Whoops. I have. I forget what all I said I started last time.
There's no telling.
felt like I had about 4, but I can't remember what the other
Well,
one was.
you did have the shawl.
Deshane. Yeah.
Deshane
is the other one.
The shawl that she just showed.
Yeah. And I haven't done any.
Macaroon sweater. So
yeah.
You've completed a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I'm avoiding Deshane. Somebody might not like seaming so much, so I've got to seam it up, and then just pick up and do the sleeves.
Well, sometimes we have to avoid projects for a little bit until we're ready for it.
Yeah.
So,
and it's linen or flax, and so it's not like I'm going to be wearing it immediately because it's getting kind of chilly around here now.
True.
But I have done a little more work on my Discovery poncho.
Oh, that feels good.
Doesn't it feel good? I think this one is like 50 merino, 50 alpaca. So it's
look
making
at
a
the detail.
lovely fabric.
You might have to go a little closer
And so,
with this. Look at the really pretty, I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but there's a little detail running up the center of it right here, as well as that beautiful seed stitch edge.
So I'm right at the point where I'm ready to do my neck bind off and then do the shoulders. So, and then I'll have to, this is the front, and I'll have to start the back.
Oh, I thought you'd finished.
No,
I thought she'd finished the front and she'd started on the
No.
I'm sorry.
This is just the front. I still have another one of these to do. So,
how many?
maybe next podcast I'll have it finished.
What were we joking about last time? You did like an inch per hour.
Yeah. That's why it's taking so long. And then I got to a point on the Rainfall that I was close to being done. I mean, this is going to take a little more time. So I just decided to concentrate on that. And I almost had the French macaroon done. It just needed to be seamed together. And so, so I thought, okay, let's get a finished project, because I knew I probably wouldn't have this one finished unless I just worked on it.
Well, but then
almost
you
the
might
whole,
get burnt out a little bit.
Right. So anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's stockinette, which is great if you're watching movies, want to sit and visit, knit night, that kind of thing.
And I might actually be able to do that now that I'm friends with stockinette.
Yeah.
We've reached an agreement, guys. We are friends for now.
Good.
For now.
Made friends with Purl.
I had to be friends with Purl for this, because this whole section is stockinette. So, you have a knit side and a purl side. I'm learning.
I like purling.
I'm learning to love purling. I'm learning to finally get into the rhythm where I can work. And it's
and that's what it is. It's finding a comfortable rhythm to do it in, and it.
See, sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone and try something.
Yeah, we already talked about that. Doing the shawl. Before I was doing the yarn business stuff, pretty much my knitting consisted of dishcloths and socks.
Which is okay.
Now after doing that shawl, Rainfall, I don't know if I can go back into that box. That's going to be kind of too boring. If and when I decide to not do yarn shop stuff anymore. But anyways, so yeah, so it's been fun doing new stuff and new techniques. And all right, what you got working on?
Well, I'm still working on the socks as I was last time, but I don't really have anything done on them yet to show. So hopefully I'll be able to show that next podcast. And then I kind of got distracted.
Which is so easy to do.
I mean, I didn't get distracted with this project, though. This I've only picked up in the last few days. So, I've been distracted by a lot of different projects. Some of them that I have at home that I just started and never finished. Some of them that I wanted to cast on that I had the yarn at home for. I mean, it's just a lot of random stuff. But I did pick this up, and I kind of feel like this is going to be a really good distraction. I'll get the socks done, I promise. This, we talked about last time that I wanted to start. This is the succulent scarf. It is a Universal Yarns pattern. It calls for a well, I'm not sure what yarn it calls for, but I'm using Cascade yarns. Don't tell them. I'm using Cascade Tangier.
Yeah, you can use whatever yarn you want. A pattern, when they call for a yarn, that's just what they decided to use.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with your needles or your hook or whatever. That's what they used. And so you have to figure out what's going to work for you.
So I decided to start this project with the Tangier yarn. It is a silk cotton acrylic rayon blend. We also have one that's MEYER, and I'm sure you guys are dying to see. Sorry. MEYER.
Yeah.
Silk, wool, and nylon. And this is silk cotton acrylic rayon. So both of these are the same concept in yarn, but this is a wool and this is a cotton base. So you have a choice there. I pulled a few colors that these are both Tangier. Those would be really pretty together. Yeah. And then the MEYER.
Oh, that would be gorgeous.
And now you guys are saying, show us what you're working on. I'm getting to that, I promise. You want to hold?
Yeah.
This end with the hook. Well, don't worry. I'll just pull that through. Yeah. We won't have to hold the hook. Look, it's a long something. So this scarf is done mostly with double crochets, and there's a really fun stitch called a spike double crochet where you go down into the row below it. You can't really tell much.
How fun.
But you cast on 281. Well, cast on, you hook. Chain. I'm so used to knitting terms. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. You chain 281 stitches, and it took me a while to get across 281 stitches on the first row. That's normal, I think. I hope.
Yes.
I hope.
Yeah. The beginning is always the hardest part.
Now I'm going strong. This does 2 rows of one skein of yarn and then 2 rows of another color. That's kind of why we showed you, you know, options of 2 skeins together. And then at the end of all of this, you know, you're working across the length of the scarf like this. And at this end and this end down here that hangs, there's going to be a bunch of fringe when I'm finished with it. And it's going to be wider, I promise. This is just a little snake of a starting point right now.
It's going to be really pretty.
Yeah, I can't
wait. Those colors are working out really well.
It calls for a worsted weight yarn, which this is kind of supposed to be a worsted weight. And they use an eye hook. Apparently I'm a loose crocheter too. I had to go down to a G hook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started with an eye hook and it just was too loose. And I'm like, you know what? I go down about 2 needle sizes with knitting. I'm going to go down about 2 needle sizes with crochet.
There you go.
It looks so much better. So, in reality, I've chained over 400 stitches at this point.
Hey, sometimes that happens.
And I'm doing 2. They're similar, but this one has like a bit more green, not green, orange and brown in it, and this one's green. So, I think these complement each other really well.
They do.
Matches what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Green.
But hey, sometimes experienced crocheters have to rechain, and you know, because you know, why do a small swatch? Well, you can just go ahead and chain 230 something, or
yeah. Well, and I will say this one thing about this yarn, it's a little bit difficult to see the chain when you begin the project, at least for me. For an experienced crocheter, they might not find an issue because it's kind of a thick, thin, kind of a nubby yarn. So I just made sure to pay a little extra attention when I was starting out, and now I'm fine. Like, it's working out perfectly. So yeah, sometimes you have to pay a little extra attention. It's okay.
Yep.
You'll make it. We all will. But work in progress. And that's staying in a little bag I have.
So that's it for you. So that's it for
Works
whips.
in progress.
Yep. All right. What else you got?
Last thing is something that we're going to do, another crochet project, future crochet project. I'm going to take this home and my mom's probably going to do it.
Yeah.
But this is Cozy Cottage Stocking.
I thought it was just so cute.
By Pattern Paradise. It uses a chunky weight or like a bulky weight yarn. So we decided to grab Vintage, because Vintage is that great workhorse yarn, but it's very soft and we love it.
Yeah.
So this is a 2-color stocking. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 of them. One of them is going to be paired the red and the cream. The other one's going to be paired with the green and the cream, because we'll probably only use half a skein of this. It calls for
I think it was 150
total. 150,
So.
and this that's total for like all the yarn.
Yeah.
That includes your contrast color with your main color, and this Vintage is 136 yards. So there'll even be enough left of these 2 colors to do something, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Maybe some little elves or gnomes or...
The little elf and gnome patterns are really cute. They're
They are.
popular nowadays too.
They are. I've seen quite a few of them popping up.
Let's see. And this uses a USJ or a 6mm crochet hook. So I think this will be fun. This is a free pattern. If you search for it on Ravelry, you will see that it looks like a paid for pattern, but she has a link to her website which offers the free pattern. Yeah. And then this is available for purchase in a PDF form if you don't want to deal with advertisements and, you know, a web page trying to load and that sort of thing. So you can purchase this, or you can just go to our website and use the free option. So that's going to be fun.
Alrighty, so we talked about, this is our 10th episode, and I mentioned, if you could have only seen the very first podcast.
Did not air.
It did not air. Whew. It's been deleted.
It's been, I mean,
and
hopefully erased for all of eternity.
Yeah. And it took us a couple of months before we decided to attempt it again.
Yeah, I think anyway. We were a little shocked.
Yeah.
We were like, is this what it feels like? This is awful.
So we regrouped, you know, and gave it another go, and we're real pleased with how it's been received, and we appreciate all of our viewers. So we're going to do a giveaway, and our giveaway is you'll get a choice of a Heidi and Lana kit. And that would be either the Passage Poncho, the sock kit.
Journey socks.
Journey. Mm-hmm. The Rainfall scarf, which I, just showed earlier. Or the Discovery Poncho. So it'll be your choice of which one of the kits you would like to have. And in order to qualify for this giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to the podcast, which when you subscribe, then you'll get notification when a new episode is up. And if you will like this episode and then leave a comment, and your comment can be
which kit you would like to win,
which kit you want, and
anything else you want to tell us. I mean, we don't mind, but just, for the giveaway purpose, at least which kit you'd like to work on or knit.
And so if you'll do those 3 things, then we'll do a random number generator kind of thing, and figure out a winner, which we will announce on our next podcast. And we will, have you get in touch with us and see if you want to come and pick it up, or if you want us to send it to you.
Mail it to you, yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I guess we should mention, this is probably going to be a giveaway only open to the U.S.
Yes.
I don't know that we can do international shipping at this time. But yeah, U.S. only. Sorry.
Oh.
But
so we hope y'all will participate and They're a lot of fun. Somebody bought the kit for the Discovery poncho, and she thought it was a sweater at first, and then realized, oh, it's not. But she's going to modify it by
just seaming up
stitching, seaming
side
up the sides,
of it, leaving an opening for like the arms,
yeah,
so that she can wear it like a sweater.
yeah.
Which,
So
if I make one, I might do that modification because I actually like that.
I thought that was a great idea. So there you go. We're real excited about this, and I hope you are too. And I guess that'll be it for us today. Our sweet tea. We have moved on to hot.
It's cold enough.
Yes,
and we're going to take every opportunity we can when it's cold enough to drink hot tea.
Yeah. I love a cup of hot tea in the afternoon especially. But this is blueberry jam from David's Tea. And it really is delicious. I don't do a lot of fruit-flavored hot teas. I usually save those for summertime and ice. But this blueberry jam is really nice.
Yeah, it smells like blueberry muffins. I mean, it's beautiful. And this is the first David's Tea I've ever had. And guys, it's good.
I like David's Tea, and of course you can, look for them online. And I checked it. I think the blueberry jam is kind of seasonal, and it's available right now. So if you think it's something you'd like to try, but we think it's pretty delicious. So anyway, but thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye.